Welcome everyone, I'm Ben Schorzman, prep sports reporter for the Register Guard, and that must mean this is Press Box. This is week 3 of the high school football season, and we're talking a lot of games, some schools getting into the league season, others still grinding out in the non-conference, so a lot of intriguing stuff though. So let's dive right into it with our game of the week, which is Hermiston at number 1 ranked Springfield, a Class 5A game, a rematch of a game from last couple years. Hermiston Bulldogs are the defending state champion, although they've kind of hit a little bit of a rough patch to start this season. 0-2 coming all the way to Springfield from Hermiston, so long bus ride for them to play a great opponent facing maybe going to 0-3 and a tough hole to climb out of. Diving a little bit into how the game might go, there's some things for Hermiston this year that are a little bit different. They have 19 first-year players on the varsity, which is not something that you want to have coming all the way on a long road trip. So that'll be tough for them. They have a sophomore quarterback who is mobile and is a left-hander, although last week he only threw for 27 yards against a great Kamayakan team, which is from Washington. So he struggled a little bit in his second varsity start, coming all the way to Springfield to face a really physical, fast Miller's defense is going to be a big test for him. Also, Hermiston is without 2 of their big weapons in Ethan Snow, who went down in the first series of week 1 for them. He's a receiver and a defensive back, something that they're going to be sorely missing against Trevor Watson, Nick Assam, Daniel Wilson, all these weapons that Springfield has. And the other guy who is absent this year, Sam Colbray, who some of you wrestling fans might know as a national champion in wrestling in multiple disciplines. He wrestles for the Bulldogs. He broke his jaw wrestling over the summer. He's not playing. That's another big hit for him because in the semifinals last year against Marist, some of you Spartan fans might remember him as the guy that pounded out 34 rushes for 158 yards. A lot of production loss there. Although there is some familiar faces on the sideline for Hermiston, including their head coach, first-year guy. Some of you Duck fans might know him as David Fa'atete, who was a defensive lineman for Oregon back and graduated in 2008. Played on with Dennis Dixon in some of those really exciting times just as the Ducks started kind of climbing the ladder to where they are now. He's been at Hermiston since graduating from Oregon as the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs under their longtime head coach who retired in the off-season. So he gets to take over and he gets to come back to the area, which is really exciting for him. Although his defense hasn't been so great this year. You're looking at some of the numbers. First 2 games, they've given up 95 points in 2 games, which is only 80 points less than they gave up all of last year. That's really been a big selling point of Hermiston's championship run last year was that defense. They allowed 13 points per game and held a high-flying Miller's offense on the road last year to 21 points. So something that we're going to have to watch out for this year. So look for a lot of our coverage from that game on Friday night. You can follow me, BENSCHOZ_RG on Twitter, so you can check out all the updates from that and come back that night for all those updates. So moving on to just a quick rundown of what else is going on in the area. We have the start of Southwest Conference play for Class 6A. We have Sheldon on the road at Grants Pass, which is their 3rd straight tough game in a row after playing at Tigard, losing that thriller double overtime game last week against number 1 ranked Jesuit. Now they go on the road to last year's league champions who beat them here in a classic 38-34 game, which saw Justin Herbert break his leg in and kind of set up the table for Kellen Strom to come in and do what he did. Quick other rundown of other games. Thurston is at South Eugene looking for its first win of the season. Willamette is at South Medford, which is a little bit of a homecoming for Jerry Wolfram, the defensive coordinator for the Wolverines. His son, Josh, obviously is the head coach. Jerry spent a few years at South Medford as a defensive coordinator. Looking at the Class 5A, we have Putnam at Churchill. Churchill won last week. They're looking to gain a little bit momentum. A clash of two undefeateds, which is crazy to say. Phoenix at North Eugene, and we have North Bend at Marist, a rematch of last year's game on the coast that North Bend won. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Tune back next week where I'll preview next week's game of the week for the Register Guard, which could be West Albany at Churchill, or it could be Roseburg at Willamette. Thanks for watching, and talk to you next week.